じゃあ皆さんこんにちは。メトロライナー武術館からエドです。すみません。Sorry. Hey guys, Ed from the Metrolina martial arts here. I almost went into my old channel spiel. Anywho, we're going to talk about 5 Japanese terms, how to say them, what they mean, and why we use them in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Let's get started. As we know, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu stems from Judo. As such, it has some remnants of some Japanese terms. Now, some of the terms that I'm going to use today are a little, not old per se, but some of them that John Danaher uses frequently, and a couple of them actually. And some of them are from like kind of an outdated modality where you begin and end class a certain way. Anywho, like, as we know, when Judo came over to Brazil and became Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, we kind of lost some of the Japanese terms, right? The 4 founders of the art didn't really focus too much on the, Japanese terminology. It's why sometimes when you ask what side control is to Brazilian, at least back in the day, right, it would be all the positions that we know and love, like north, south, side control, side mount, scarf hold, all those things. Anywho, that's kind of why they went away, and John Danaher has definitely made them popular again. My issue with it is the pronunciation is awful. So here's my ask of all of you is, I know I'm going to sound a little, not pious, but a little forceful with how I say them versus how they are commonly said. Honestly, it doesn't really matter. As long as you get the point across, I think, language adapts and changes as we go. But I'm going to give you some frame of reference as to how they're supposed to sound. Now, I know you're asking yourself this: why would I, some white guy from North Carolina, be educating you on how to pronounce Japanese words? Well, the reason that I am going to do it, and not somebody else, is because I actually have a Japanese studies background. I studied Japanese at the UNC Charlotte, and that was my major. Don't major in Japanese, it's not useful. But that was my major. I studied abroad in Japan, actually at Sophia University, or Joji Daigaku. And then, but my Japanese really didn't get good until I started working for a Japanese company right after I graduated from college, okay? So that's a little bit of a background on why you're learning Japanese from a white guy from North Kakalaki, but we'll get started. Okay, so the first one is the actual name itself, okay? Jujutsu, or Jiujitsu, is a mispronunciation of Jujutsu, okay? Jujutsu. Now, you could say it's a different art, but it's not, okay? Like if you look at the kanji for Judo, and you look at the kanji for Jujutsu, or as we say, Jujitsu, they have the same Ju in it, and then Do is way of, and Jitsu is techniques, or like application. So, when you have that, it's actually Jutsu, like Kagebushin no Jutsu from Naruto, if you watch that. If you don't, you're missing out. It's not too late. It is late, but it is not too late. Okay, so Jujutsu. Now, that doesn't mean I need you to start going saying Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, because people are going to be like, you're saying it wrong. The name as it is now is Jiu-Jitsu, and that's okay. It's like I said earlier, sometimes language adapts and changes, like the word yeet. Sometimes that just happens, okay? And that's okay. It's important to know that language adapts and changes, but if you want to be technically correct, it is Jujutsu, okay? That's the first one. Okay, number 2 is Armbar, everyone's favorite move from the guard or standing position if you do it flying, or from the mount or whatever. Juji gatame. Juji gatame. So Juji is character 10 and gatame is like lock. Okay, so Juji gatame. So if you hear how John Danaher senpai says it, where he's like Juji, 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 that's how you kind of say it. Juji gatame, gatame, gatame. You never put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable, okay? It changes the sound of it, right? So I can't mimic John Danaher, not as good as at least Icy Mike can, but You want some breadsticks? No, I'm just kidding. Fundamental breadsticks. That's more Sean Connery. Anywho, Juji. See how it sounds different? You can look at Dogen if you're really interested in pronunciation stuff. Dogen is a great guy. There's a link up there. So Juji gatame. Juji gatame. Okay? Gatame. That's how you say it. So Juji gatame. If you say Juji gatame or Juji gatami, it's wrong because gatami, it's M-E at the end. Gatame, not gatami. It's like karaoke, sake. We Americans have kind of Englishized the Japanese to have the meh sound at the end or the eh sound at the end to be an e sound because we see e at the end. Okay? So it's actually Juji gatame, not Juji gatami. Okay? That's number 2. Number 3, kind of the same like the last one, ashigarami, or leg entanglement or single leg X, whatever you want to call it. Ashigarami, okay? Ashigarami is pronounced correctly, but it's technically ashigarami. I know it, like I'm a nerd for this stuff, and if you're not, that's cool, but you should be. You want to say it correctly, at least you can. So ashi. So the first syllable is almost kind of blurred in, as is garami. Like you're kind of rushing the first syllable. In my opinion, that's probably how, because how the Japanese say things, they say it kind of quickly. That's probably how they heard jujutsu to jujitsu, is they're like, ah, kore wa jujitsu desu, kore wa jujutsu desu, like jujutsu? Like, oh yeah, that's fine. So that's probably how it kind of happened, and this is the same thing. It's not ashigarami. Like you're putting a lot of emphasis on that first syllable. So if you've heard domo arigato, mister, it's not domo arigato, putting a lot of emphasis on that first syllable. The second one that matters here. Garami. Okay? That's number 3. Leg entanglement. Ashigarami. Tsugi desu. Alright, next one is one that John Danaher uses in his feet to floor instructional. And I had to ask some people to make sure that this is a term that's actually used, because I actually have never heard of it, and Googling it didn't help until I spelt it correctly. It's Kenka yotsu and ai yotsu. Unfortunately, John Danaher says Kenka yatsu and ai yatsu. Yatsu is kind of like a slang version of that guy. So I was like, we're fighting that guy? Kenka, I thought it was fight. It's not, I don't think. But ai, like aikido, is to suit. So I was like, we're suiting that guy? Okay, I guess that makes sense, but it's yotsu for 4 points. So kenkayotsu is open stance. Excuse me, I said it wrong. Kenkayotsu is open stance. So if I'm left lead, they're right lead, okay? Aiyotsu is the same thing, but now they're matching our lead. So if my left hand is forward, their left hand is forward. So that's kenkayotsu and aiyotsu. And the yotsu is, again, the 4 points. You go hitotsu, futatsu, mitsu, yotsu. That's 1 thing, 2 things, 3 things, 4 things, okay? So kenkayotsu and aiyotsu. Most likely, again, the Japanese say it really quickly, and they're like, ah, kenkayotsu, and they're like, yotsu, yatsu, and it just snowballs from there. Next one is a throw. This is probably one of my favorite throws. It's called the tani otoshi. Tani otoshi. Tani means valley, okay, and valley drop. Otoshi, to drop. So valley drop. And I really like this technique, but it just simply means valley drop. Tani otoshi. Now, we put a lot of emphasis on the wrong syllable here, and they say tani otoshi, and it's not quite right. You could get the point across again, but it's tani otoshi. Tani otoshi. Almost like you're taking it and dropping it down. And that last shi, tani otoshi, the sh is kind of short. Tani otoshi. You can say the e at the end. It's not incorrect. It's just more casual if you say tani otoshi as opposed to tani otoshi. But it doesn't really matter. So tani otoshi. Okay, last one here is actually how I begin and end every jiu-jitsu class. So from my Shuto and CSW instructor, Sensei Eric Paulson, boom, man, right there. I trained with him a bunch. I'm actually a certified coach under him in CSW. We begin and end the class with the say, because I need to use my Japanese degree in my life. I'm an Android developer during the day. I teach martial arts at night, and then I make videos for you guys in the extra time. So I've got to get my degree in there somewhere. So I say, 本日の稽古を始めます, which means today's class is beginning. 本日 means today. 稽古 is class. 始めます is beginning. So 本日の稽古を始めます. Today's class is beginning. And then on the end of the class, 本日の稽古終わりました. Okay? And that means like end. 本日の稽古, today's class, 終わりました is over. 本日の稽古を終わりました. There's technically like a in there. It's a particle. Discussion for a different time. If you're interested at all in the Japanese language, there's a ton of resources. You can go back and look at a previous life I had on YouTube where I was a J-vlogger, one of those people that lived in Japan and made YouTube videos, and then when I didn't live in Japan, I still made YouTube videos about Japanese and passing the Japanese language proficiency test. If that's interests you, you can check the card there. The channel's name is Edimus. Alright, that being said, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like, hit the subscribe button, smash the bell so you never miss this handsome face and hair, because, you know, that's why I come. If you guys have any questions or want me to do any more Japanese terms and help with the pronunciation, leave it in the comments. Make sure you check out the other channel for more Budo terms that maybe are of use to you. That being said, see you guys on the mats. Party on.